Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just move straight along here with four of the senior management team from Sandfire here today, and including the CEO and Managing Director, Carl Simic. I hope you'll come past our booth. It's N2, and get a deeper insight into what we are doing. We're on a major growth plan now. I'll just assume you've read all these disclaimers and CP disclosures here. A little bit of history here on Sandfire and really background on the corporate here. It's an ASX 200 company. It's pretty tightly held in terms of share capital, cash to roughly 200 million and no debt. Importantly, there's zero debt in this company currently, and the market cap sort of sitting around about $1.1 billion. Operates in three global jurisdictions: North America, Australia and Southern Africa currently, with its main focus of this presentation today being on the newly acquired assets from Mod Resources in Botswana. History here: over 470,000 tonnes of copper to date from the Degrussa mine in Western Australia, 275,000 ounces of gold. It's generated significant cash flow and significant returns for its shareholders. So it is seen as a yield stock as well as an investment for future growth opportunities here. The record is really pretty staggering from Degrussa. It is really one of the highest grade copper mines in the world. It's had a 7-year consistent track record here of just consistent delivery, quarter in, quarter out. And roughly 70 to 72,000 tonne of copper a year, and our guidance, as you can see, and up to 40,000 ounces of gold for this year, guidance numbers here. Very high grade underground mines. Initially Degrussa was an open pit transition into underground, and its sort of younger brother Monty, which is 10 kilometres away, is an extremely high grade and very profitable mine, largely fully developed with the majority of the ore yet to be extracted. So just to give you an idea, grade for that ore reserve around about 8.7 copper. So you can see this is a significant cash generating operation underway here. So we're really focused on Africa, of course. That's why we're here today. And our Botswana Project, which was acquired from Mod Resources back in October last year for around about $167 million of cash and shares distributed to Mod shareholders. The focus and the main reason for the acquisition was the T3 copper project. So it's a substantial open pit mine. It's going through its last stages of environmental permitting, and we hope that will lead straight into application for a mining licence, and we're targeting a decision to mine in the June quarter. We'll come back to T3 briefly. Sandfire is also the dominant licence holder in the Kalahari copper belt, and this is an extremely prospective, underexplored belt. It's been misaligned and misunderstood for a long time, but I think finally the guys out there are really understanding what's happening and making discoveries now. So from the acquisition of Mod in October 2019 to the first announcement relating to this project just in last 10 days, what you're seeing there is a new zone of discovery, which is only 8 kilometres from the T3 project, and of course we're all very excited about that potential. So there are 5 rigs drilling there now. Very supportive. Botswana, anyone who's been there gets the picture pretty immediately. It's a wonderful country. We have a very big social and community program there, well established over the 4 or 5 years by Mod Resources, but we're actually stepping that up to another level now through Sandfire. The belt, just trying to demonstrate the opportunity here to the Namibian border on the left-hand side of the image there. Right-hand side has been really consolidated by Kuprick Canyon Capital. It's called the Khoemacau Project. There's something like 20 to 25 years of drilling there. Currently 6 to 7 million tonnes of copper in resources in 6 deposits there. The largest of those being a deposit called Zone 5, which is now in development. It's being fully funded mostly from London, PE and other sources there by our neighbours. That has had a big history of exploration and success, and there's something like 3.7 million tonnes of resources and 2% copper in those various resources, which Khoemacau is currently having its first major underground mine development at. We're trying to demonstrate here that for the remaining two-thirds of the belt to the west, virtually no prior exploration at all. This is really an extraordinary, kind of unique opportunity for a sediment-hosted copper belt to have such a prospective landholding, and MOD and now Sandfire is already demonstrating there's just huge upside in this region all the way to Namibia. Trying to demonstrate a little bit here on the geology, the prospective mine sequence in yellow, the target sequence is in red. Hopefully you can see a little stippled contact. This being sediment host, you're looking for blanket style mineralisation, but you're also looking for high-grade vein systems that sit on the top of these structures, which in our case are domes. So the eastern end of the belt, most of that geology has been eroded, but it's still a significant copper resource on that contact. In our situation, as you go west, the geology plunges very shallow to the west here. The geology is intact pretty much as we understand it today, and so whatever copper is in that mine sequence is still there. So that opens up huge potential for further discovery. I guess the breakthrough has been EM, airborne EM, helicopter-borne EM, and just to demonstrate the T3 deposit subsequent to its discovery and its first resource was flown by EM, and it was sitting on top of what hadn't been recognised, a large domal structure. And of course we've extended the EM beyond T3, discovered another dome, in fact many domes in this area, but another dome to the west, 8 kilometres A4, and that's where we're currently drilling today and announcing success in a new zone of mineralisation on the top of that dome. So we think this is a very fortunate situation we have with the potential for multiple targets sitting in front of us to follow up. The geology, very simply, on the right-hand side there is just showing a cross-section across one of these domes, the A4 dome, and how the mineralisation seems to have almost a feeder vein system, spreads out at the top. But in addition to that, we have this blanket-style mineralisation between the yellow and the pink formations you can see on the map. So you get several opportunities here for mineralisation, and currently we're scoping out the potential scale of this new discovery zone sitting right on top of the dome. Shallow depth, a lucky find, and you can see some of the vein-hosted, locally very high-grade copper in this deposit and intersections on the left. The PIT T3 project, well advanced now in terms of feasibility, which is now currently being optimised to see if there's some refinements needed to the processing plant, but also to the pit design. We are, as I say, hoping to be in a position for Sandfire to be able to announce a decision to mine on that during the June quarter. It's the operation. So really just the outlook for 2020, just showing that Sandfire never stops. It's relentless in its approach to building its production here. Is the optimisation of the feasibility study. ESIA approval's well advanced now, sitting there with the Department of Environmental Affairs for some final finessing of a couple of comments there. Feasibility study and decision to mine, and then already Carl and his corporate team is undertaking financing discussions for this project. And really, in effect, since the MOD acquisition back in October, the budget has doubled from 10 million for what was calendar 19, is in fact doubled for the first 6 months. So we've got a big exploration push on right now, and as A4 is showing, it's demonstrating success. Strong balance sheet. There's a very clear plan to build a long-term sustainable mid-cap company. We think there's a vacuum in the market for that, and Botswana, amongst other assets in the company, is providing us with confidence of that potential. So just in summary, 7 years track record of delivery. You're not dealing with a startup here by any stretch. It's in a very good shape in terms of its financial position, Sandfire, and Botswana acquisition has really added just another level of expansion potential. So look, thanks very much for your time.